dry fasting. This is the new way of fasting, and is it right for you? Oh my gosh. All right, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. What a stupid idea this is. I don't know where people invent this. Now look, I know that you guys respect other YouTubers, and I just gotta say, this is a bad idea. I'm gonna give you a real life example of this. It happened to me, and I'll let you know about this, but you gotta stop. Of all the good ideas on YouTube, this is a bad one. I'll explain why. But what is dry fasting? Dry fasting is that you are not gonna drink anything. You're not gonna drink coffee, you're not gonna drink teas, you're not gonna drink water. That's the main thing. You're just not gonna drink. Not only are you trying to fast to lose weight by not eating, you are now dry fasting, meaning you're not drinking anything as well. And I could see a whole host of problems with this, but what are the proposed benefits? So the idea is that you will do OMAD or intermittent fasting or time restricted fasting, whatever you want to call it. You fast for 20 hours and then you eat for only 4. You got a 4-hour window where you could drink water, coffee, tea, whatever you want to drink, and food. So the idea is this, that when you are fasting, dry fasting as well as food fasting, do they call it wet fasting? Your body will start to use fat as an energy source. So the adipose tissue, the fat cells that you have will have to be broken down into ketone bodies that will be used for energy, and the fat, through a process where your pancreas will start to secrete more glucagon, will break down fat and convert it into glucose so that your brain has glucose so that you have energy. And the idea is that you're going to lose weight. The reason why people are saying dry fasting is good is because when your body breaks down fat, the fat cells will release water so that you don't need to drink water. Well, of course, this goes against all of science, because we all know that when your body breaks down fat, it's going to form ketones, and your body is going to try to get rid of those ketones through the kidney, and you are going to be urinating much more. In other words, you're going to be losing more water. Even though maybe the breakdown of fats releases water, you're going to be losing water. The second concept behind this dry fasting is that you're going to create something called autophagy. And autophagy means cell breakdown, self-eating. In other words, your body is going to live longer by dry fasting. Yeah, you're going to live longer by being dehydrated. Ridiculous. Okay, so let me tell you a story. This is a good one. This happened to me, I believe it was about 6 or 7 years ago. And I entered it wasn't a bike race, it was a Grand Fondo, but everybody was racing. You put a bunch of cyclists together, it's gonna be a race. A friend of mine and I went to the San Fernando Valley, which is really hot. There's the preface there. I had a Camelback on my back, and I had 2 big water bottles. Well, what happened was, it was during summertime, and we were riding, it was a gravel ride, and we were riding in dirt, and it was really exposed. There were no trees, there was no shade, and my computer on my bike was showing that it was just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And along the way, along the path of the bike ride, there were areas where there were rest stops where you could get water and food and snacks and things of that nature. Well, my friend was a lot faster than me. He's like 20 years younger than me, so naturally he's just a better cyclist, in much better shape. So we were together, and he was just stronger than me. So, you know, it goes up a hill, he takes off, never saw him again. It ends up, the route was, we were supposed to go around some different loops and things like that, and I was not familiar with the area. Somehow or another, I took a right turn when I should have taken a left turn, and all of a sudden I was kind of by myself think of it, you're like by yourself in the middle of the mountains. It's like 112 degrees out there, and you're drinking water, and I kind of didn't know where I was. And somehow or another, I kind of found my way back a little bit, but by that time, certain things were happening. Number one, I was out of water. I ate all the snacks that I had in my pockets. It was really hot, like my skin was beet red and everything like that. And I was starting to, you suffer. That's the fun of doing these events, that you go out and you suffer, and you have a good story when you come back. Let's pretend you're a doctor. I'm gonna give you my symptoms, and you write down in the comments what happened to me. And here's the story. I was just sweating like a pig, I was hot, but then all of a sudden I started to notice I was riding and I just wasn't feeling good. And I started getting nauseous, which is not like me because I have a stomach of iron. And it wasn't like I was gonna throw up, but I just felt, oh my God, my stomach's bothering me. And then all of a sudden I started to kind of I was fatigued, but this was a different type of fatigue. It was like my eyes were starting to close. I just felt like I just wanted to lie down in the dirt and take a nap. I was actually, from what I remember, I was riding around looking for a shady place, and if I saw a little bit of shade, my mind really just wanted to just lie down and nap, and I'm not a take a nap guy, especially during a long bike ride. And I caught up to my friend and I was like, hey, and I was telling him, I don't really feel that good. And then I noticed, and this is the key, I noticed, hey, that's weird. A little bit woozy, I'm nauseous, I kind of don't know where I am, I just want to take a nap. And I noticed I'm not sweating. And that's a bad, bad, bad sign. I was totally dehydrated. And like I said, if you know what happened, put it down in the comments. Let's see who gets it right. At that point, even though I was ready to fall asleep while I was riding my bike, I told my friend, hey, I think I'm in trouble. We gotta get the hell out of here. So somehow or another, he knew where we were, and I honestly kind of don't remember it, but somehow or another, and this is our bad idea, but instead of calling 911, we somehow got off the gravel out of the mountains onto streets. And we rode down the street and found a gas station. And the gas station had shade where the concrete was. And all I remember was lying down on the concrete, and the concrete felt so good because it was in the shade, but still, it was the San Fernando Valley. It was like 110 degrees out. And I had my friend go into the gas station, and he bought one of those huge, monstrous bags, 5 pounds of ice. He got me a Gatorade, a Snicker bar, and a Coke. And I don't remember eating the Snicker bar. I remember the Coke and the Gatorade, just sucking it down. And then we packed my body, my shorts and my shirt full of ice. And then I was lying there, and I had the rest of the ice, the 5 pounds, on my skull as I was lying there on the concrete. But I was just lying there, and I remember two things. The first is some guy in a truck came over to us and says, hey man, you don't look so good. You want to ride to the hospital? And I remember thinking, yes. But for some reason I said, no, I think I'm gonna be okay. And the weirdest thing happened, this is the most bizarre, was after drinking the Coke and the Gatorade, and I assume I ate the Snicker bar, after that ice cooled down my skull and my head, all of a sudden it was like, boom, the lights just turned back on, and I was like, where am I? And I'm ready to go. And as stupid as this sounds, this is probably the first time I hope my wife isn't watching this, but hey, I survived, right? But we rode back to the location, which was, I don't know, 10, 12 miles back to our cars, and I survived. But here's the point. What did I do by accident? I was dehydrated in a hot environment, and that is a bad idea. One could argue that I was so dehydrated that it almost became a medical emergency. And what I was doing was, in a way, dry fasting. It was a very bad idea. You do not want to do dry fasting, and here's the reason why, in my humble opinion. Number one, you're going to become dehydrated. Now sure, when you're dehydrated, your blood pressure goes down. Everybody knows that. That's why the doctor gives you diuretics, to make you lose fluids. But that's not a smart way to lower your blood pressure. So if you're doing intermittent fasting because you're trying to lower your blood pressure, this is a very bad idea of lowering your blood pressure. There are much better ways, and I have tons of videos on better ways to lower your blood pressure. It's gonna mess with your electrolytes, which it does, because when you're dehydrated, if you don't drink any water, your electrolytes may become imbalanced, and that can become very dangerous to your heart, your brain function, and all sorts of other things. And the third is, we're just taking fasting to too much of an extreme. There are much better ways to lose fat, get healthy, and not have medical problems. Now I understand if someone's 350, 400 pounds and you're trying to lose weight, that, you know, basically fasting is a good way to lose weight. Just stop eating, limit the time that you're allowed to eat. Everybody's talking about, at least on the internet where I got this information from, autophagy, which is just a fancy word for saying that we're just trying to make you live longer by, you know, cell eating, but it's just, man, it's a bad idea. If you think it's a good idea, let me know in the comments section, but if you want my honest, humble opinion, don't even listen to this guy that is promoting dry fasting. It's just ridiculous. Today's video sponsor is Mother Good Earth, and they are a great company because they are, first of all, sponsoring this video, and second of all, they have the greatest minerals ever, and they have a philosophy of minerals come from the earth. So where do you get it? From the earth. And so watch what I'm gonna do here. We're just gonna go down. It rained the other day. You just take a nice cup here and just scoop up some mud. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix this Mother Earth with water and drink it to get all the minerals that come from the earth. So you can see I just mixed it with water and all the chunky goodness is in there. Beautiful for minerals. Oh my God. Oh, screw this, I don't need the money. No more sponsorship. Okay guys, good news. I have a new sponsor, Optimizers, and they have Magnesium Breakthrough. This actually I do use. I take 2 tablets at nighttime. It helps me sleep. It's got 7 different minerals. Now, of course, Mother Earth supplies minerals in the dirt, but it needs to come into the vegetables. And if the soil isn't good, if you're not eating organic vegetables, you're not getting as many minerals as you really should be. So that's why I take 2 tablets. It's got 500 milligrams of magnesium in it, and it's got 7 different types of magnesium. The reason I take this is for a number of reasons. It regulates my blood pressure, it keeps my heart healthy, which is an endurance athlete I really want, and it helps me sleep. It's easy on the stomach, easy to digest, no digestive trouble, and this is actually a sponsor that I could stand by. Oh man, who's gonna clean up these chunks?